Okay, this is the final part. I'm so close to the end. I figured out why my video kept stopping. It's because I ran out of iCloud storage. I had to delete some stuff. As I was saying, so as Gold, he has all the pieces together. He knows how to save himself and Anna. He has all the murder mystery pieces, and he knows how to get all these pieces together in one spot so the plague doctor can hear them and they can be allowed to leave. So they do all this. They get to the boathouse. Also, by this whole time, Helena Hardcastle has been missing. Who is Evelyn's mother? She's been missing. We have no idea where she is. Aiden is convinced she's the killer. I was never on board with this idea. But basically, they find her. He now knows where she is. They find her in the boathouse by the lake, where I don't even want to talk about all this. 19 years ago, the reason they're all at this party is that 19 years ago, Evelyn had a brother who died, and Charlie Carver, who is really the father of all of the Hardcastle children because Helena was in love with him and not her husband, took the fall for the death of this child, who was his child, and got stabbed. And yeah, it's the backbone of this whole story, but it really doesn't matter. Nothing really matters. The ending is so out of nowhere, it doesn't matter. So they're at this boathouse. They find Helena's body. She's killed in the exact same way that Thomas was killed 19 years ago. Thomas was a little boy, Evelyn's younger brother. And everyone keeps saying that Helena hates Evelyn because Evelyn was supposed to watch him that day and said she went for a ride and left him alone, and that's how he wandered to the lake and ended up getting murdered. We find out Helena actually has genuine reasons to hate Evelyn. She's not just a crazy bitch. Right here. So, in order for Anna to get out, she has to put together the pieces herself. She has to figure out the ending herself. Like, Aiden can't tell her. He knows, but he can't tell her. I'll talk about who Anna is at the end. It is revealed on page 440, 2 chapters before the end, that Evelyn Hardcastle is not Evelyn Hardcastle. The woman who we thought was Evelyn Hardcastle this entire time was really this throwaway character who's only been mentioned once or twice, Felicity Maddox. The real Evelyn Hardcastle is the maid. Yeah. The one that Derby almost raped. Yup, that one. That's Evelyn. That's Evelyn, everyone. Gold also had sex with her the night before. Woke up in her bed this morning. It's not really important, but I would just like to put that out. Because now I think it's funny that Aiden slept with Evelyn. Yeah. So, that's why I sent this voice memo. That's the reveal that got me. And I'll explain why it's awful. But here's my little note that I wrote. Fuck this book. Evelyn not being Evelyn invalidates everything. Her kindness towards Belle, her almost shooting Derby, teaming up with Rashton, all the things we liked about her and why we wanted to save her don't matter. Some lies shouldn't be told. We loved Felicity. We were trying to save Felicity, not Evelyn. It makes the story more worthless than it was. Like how many times was it mentioned that the reason Evelyn is being saved, the reason Aiden is trying so hard is because of her kindness towards Belle. That is it. That is the only thing why things are progressing the way they are. And it doesn't matter because it's not Evelyn. It's not Evelyn. It's this random con artist that Evelyn hired to play her. It does not matter. It just takes away everything. Like, Aiden has been trying so hard. He's died over and over. He's contemplated sacrificing his soul and any goodness in him. He's contemplated betraying Anna. He's been betrayed by Daniel Coolidge. He's been chased and murdered by the footmen for a random con woman who's not her death in the large scheme of things doesn't mean anything because her death is not the murder they're trying to solve because she is not Evelyn Hardcastle. It's just it really is just, it's kind of like a slap in the face. Like, it's not just because you can make something a twist. This is what I need Stuart Turton to understand as a man and as a writer. Just because you can make something a twist does not mean it should be a twist. There are a million times you could be like, but what if this person is really this person? It doesn't mean you have to do it every time. It doesn't mean it because you can actually, like, now some books get better upon a reread. I wouldn't know. I don't reread books except the Final Girl Support Group. check it out. This book, if I were to go back and reread it now, there's no positives here for me to read. You know what I mean? Like, knowing how this book ends, there's no point where I could be like, oh my god, that's, I connect the pieces, like, that's so cool. There's no, you know what I mean? Or like, oh wow, this relationship means like so much more now that I know like it ends like this, or like none of that doesn't exist. There's no reread value in this book, because everything in it from pages 1 to page 440 were a lie, and everything it was built upon don't matter. Like, it's really hard to like describe and understand if you haven't gone through this journey, but to read almost 500 pages and then be told that you read 500 pages of a lie that invalidates everything that was good about this book, the few parts that you did like about it, it's really like, it's bad. Like, I don't understand how other people read that and gave this book 5 or 4 stars. I don't understand how people read this book and gave it anything more than 1 star. If Goodreads would let me give it less than 1 star, I would, because there's literally nothing redeeming about it. The parts that normally when I read a book and I rate a book, I would be like, oh, there's some good parts in here that I actually liked, no matter how much I hated the book. I'll give it some points for that book. Those points don't matter anymore, because guess what? The book doesn't matter anymore, because it's all, again, a lie. It's really like, it's almost heartbreaking in a way, and like really like upsetting, because why? Yeah. It's all a lie. It's revealed Evelyn is actually a child psychopath. She killed her little brother when she was 10 years old, and he was like, I don't know, 6 or 8. I don't really care. No one cares about his age. Thomas is a prop. He's not a person. He's a prop. All the characters are props. No one's a person. Who cares? Yeah, so she killed him, basically just for, like, no reason. Oh, no, wait, no, not for no reason. She killed him because she saw him kill another little boy the week before. Yeah, surprise. Evelyn, just out of nowhere, is, not only is she not a kind person, like, you can't even project the Evelyn you thought you knew onto new Evelyn. New Evelyn is actually just a child psychopath who has killed one random little boy, her own little brother, and then 19 years later came back, killed her mother and her father. The only person she has any emotional connection to is Michael, who's dead. How fun. Guess what? She also accidentally killed Michael because she put the poison there. I just love this book. Yeah, so that takes away everything. The rest of the book is just... To be fair, Aiden is as shocked as I am. He's silent for like a good portion. He's like, the fuck? So Aiden and I were together on that. It's Anna. So yeah, they both end up escaping. The plague doctor's like, yeah, you guys have changed. You're like actually good people. That matters because it's revealed that this place is actually like a prison. It's a rehabilitation prison, where in whatever universe this is, they catch the world's most awful criminals and they send them to these places to solve crimes for justice, and they undergo the loops until they change as people and become better people. Except for Aiden, he chose to come here because he's perfect, and I mean, come on, just look at him. Yeah, that's basically how they explain that. So Anna, and the reason they really try to turn you against Anna, who really is the only ally Aiden has, and they're really build up to her crime, like they're gonna like reveal what her crime is, and they really build up to it. It's the most vague bullshit I've ever heard. Like, Anna is truly like one of the only characters that I feel any like positive emotion towards, because she really, even though she's also a prop, she's not a real person, she's just another prop to help Aiden. But they're like, you're not gonna feel the same way about her. You're gonna wish you never met her. And her crime, she's the diabolical leader of some vague group that causes terror and destruction across the world. That's literally it. There's no actual like list of an actual specific crime she's ever committed. She's just this cartoon villain, basically, who they had to trap and lock away into this hellscape. And the reason Aiden chose to go in there is because Anna killed his sister, embarrassed, humiliated, and tortured her, and everyone saw. How everyone saw? Was it streamed live on Twitch? Who knows? Aiden was so overcome with fury, he volunteered to go into this hell and basically follow Anna around and torment her. But somewhere in those loops, they found forgiveness and they forgot their original purpose. And now they're besties / maybe in love. It's very unclear. It's bad. It's bad. It sucks. It's just bad. That's it. And then I thought it would be fun if I did the reading group guide at the end. So let's see what these questions are. What or who do you think are the deaths in the 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle? Where does the half-death enter the narrative? The half-death doesn't exist. It's there because the author had to change the title for an American release. And the half-death is because Evelyn is not really Evelyn. 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle begins in a typical linear way. No, it doesn't. Then shoots off in many different directions. How did the different narratives and perspectives enrich the story? They didn't. They made it worse. You can actually cut out many characters' point of views and make the story better. The butler and Donald Davies, you don't need them. Cut them out. The mystery and escape in Blackheath is set up like a puzzle, and the reader plays along with Aiden. No, I didn't. As he puts the solution together. Were there any pieces you couldn't find a place for? All of them. This story is batshit. Aiden Bishop has a backstory that readers will never know in full. However, what we do know is there's plenty of revenge, cruelty, and questionable intentions wrapped up in who he was and why he entered Blackheath. What you know about him, would you call him a hero? Why or not? I would not, because he is an oblivious man and just a bad person overall. I would not call him a hero in any aspect of the word. Why do you think the Plague Doctor wears that particular costume? And how does it affect his relationship with Aiden? It just makes him spooky. It's like a, ooh... Is the Plague Doctor really the good man that the voice in Aiden's head claims him to be? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. He's just a prop. He could be a terrorist. He doesn't do anything. He doesn't affect the story. In the end, he lets him go. That's all that matters. Annabelle Culker, or Anna, is unmasked as someone very different from who Aiden believes her to be. What do you feel she did to deserve her time in Blackheath, and how do you think Aiden was able to forgive her? I assume she punted babies into the sun, the way to describe her. I think Aiden's able to forgive her because Aiden quite literally does not remember anything from his past life. How are you going to hate someone you don't know? Were there any tactics Aiden didn't think of that could have solved the mystery of who killed Evelyn Hardcastle? If you were in his shoes, or host, what would you have done differently? I would have listened to myself. The construct of Blackheath as a prison feels like something from the future. But do you feel this sort of punishment and possible redemption could one day be considered a viable solution for criminals? What do you feel the advantages are, and what way... This is literally the definition of cruel and unusual punishment. No one should have to do this. This shit is whack. No character is ever what they first appear. Oh my god, these questions are so long. Who's your favorite character and why do they resonate with you particularly? My favorite character is Belle. I liked him because he's the only one who wasn't a cartoon villain. He was just a drug dealer. Which character undergoes the biggest transformation? And were there any character you start off liking or loathing and change your opinion about? I don't think so. Not really. I don't. Here's the thing. You don't care about any of these characters because they don't matter! Was there one host you felt more important, or can you see how each character, despite their vices, provided something crucial to the story? The butler literally got his ass beat in the first moment he appeared in the story, and then didn't show up again. He was in the bed the whole time. He did nothing. He's not crucial. What sort of man do I think Aiden is outside of Blackheath? A bad one. A bad one. He literally went into a prison hell to get revenge. A bad one. Shut up, low battery. What recurring symbols or themes did you see throughout the book, and what role do you think they played in the story of Aiden's escape from Blackheath? I don't know. I cannot think of a single symbol that was reoccurring. A gun, maybe? Let me look at the cover. Oh, the chess pieces. That's it. Those are really it. The other I wouldn't even call symbols. They're props. If you knew someone you loved had a devastating secret, would you choose to find out what it was, or love them for who they've become? If you knew you did something terrible, would you want to remember or live with that shadow for the rest of the life? What kind of book club question is that? If I found out someone I loved had a devastating secret, I want to know. It won't change how I feel about you. I'm like 99% sure. If I did something terrible, I don't want anyone... Oh, wait. Would you want to remember or live with that shadow? I don't know. Maybe I'd want to forget. I forget a lot of things naturally already, so I don't think it would really matter. It depends on what I did. Like, if I was like Anna and I punted babies into the sun, I think I'd remember it. It's not that bad. Yeah, that's it. That's the book. Okay. Thanks, guys. Regina, this is to you specifically. Don't ever trust your gut when it comes to a book. I think you specifically have a curse put upon you. Joe, get better at reading. Bella, get better at reading. The fact that I had to undergo this journey by myself is a crime. Like, if I was the plague doctor, I would put the three of you into Black Earth, and you would have to solve this crime. That would be your punishment. You would be Anna. You would be Adam, Aiden, and I would be the plague doctor watching you. You would have to tell me who murdered someone. Yep, that's it. 0 out of 5 stars. Actually, it'll be rated 1 out of 5 because I can't give it 0. I hate it. This is the worst book I've ever read. It's also the book that's in the worst condition. Like, you guys can't really tell, but the book naturally curves like this. I don't have another book that literally does that. That's because I don't care about this book. It's bad. Bye-bye.